Broadcasting from Cincinnati, you're listening to the Ringside Reporter podcast. All the news from the world of boxing right here.
Well, I'm talking to you the way I want to talk to you.
Now, here's your host, Eric Lorda.
And we are live. Welcome to the Ringside Reporter Show, where we talk about the latest boxing news. If it's related to boxing, we'll talk about it here. My name is Eric Lorta, and I'm here with my co-host, Joe Habib, and we have a great show for you today. And if you want to call and ask questions, you can call in right now, 323-870-3857. And we'll be here till about 7 o'clock tonight. And tonight, we're going to talk about Jake Paul and Tyron Woodley is coming to Titletown. We'll have all the details. But first, we got to get started with the big one, man. Showtime. Jermell Charlo versus Brian Castano. Charlo and Castano fought to a 12-round majority draw last night. Nobody took home all the belts. I had the fight 116-112 for Castano. Castano took the lead in the fight. He was pressuring Charlo. Charlo caught him a couple of times with that left hook coming in, but then Castano adjusted to it. He started jabbing his way in. His corner gave him really good advice, by the way, last night. They told him to jab his way in instead of just bull rushing in. Charlo was just honestly not active enough for me to win this fight. He just wasn't. We broke it down. Like I said, I gave him 8 rounds to 4. Charlo would win some of the round and then just do nothing for the rest of the round. It was obvious. I mean, Castano was way more active. It was almost like Charlo was just thinking too much in there. I think Castano had him confused at times, because Charlo looked like he wanted to throw a punch and just missed the opportunity to throw it. You know what I mean? He almost looked like you know what he looked like, Beeb, in a lot of that. And I'm not saying he is, but you know what he looked like in parts of that, because I think he was just genuinely confused in there. He looked like that old fighter that doesn't have reflexes anymore, that he sees a shot, he sees the opening, and then he just can't pull the trigger. That's kind of what he looked like last night. Now, obviously that's not the case with Charlo, but I just think that Castano has that style that just gives him fits. I really do. I think he just has that style that just gives him fits, man. After the fight was over, everybody was talking about the rematch after the fight. Charlo honestly didn't seem too excited about that. He seemed a little hesitant about it, but I mean, he said he said, oh yeah, we'll fight him again, blah, blah, blah. But you can tell he really wasn't all in. Not to mention the fact that both fighters have mandatories now. So I wouldn't expect a rematch shot anytime soon. That being said, Beeb, was this a robbery?
I don't think it was a robbery. I don't think a draw was out of the question. My scorecard was as such. I had Castano winning the first, third, fourth, fifth, and I had him winning the seventh and eighth and ninth. Now, could I have given Charlo that fifth round? Because I think everyone else gave Charlo that fifth round, and a lot of people gave Castano the sixth. So if I give Charlo the fifth and the sixth, then I have a draw. But my card was 115 and 113. But also, I could have given Charlo the fifth and sixth, but I could have given Castano the 11th, because quite a few people gave Castano the 11th too. Yeah. So I don't think a draw was impossible. I think Charlo winning the fight is a bit of a stretch. Obviously, a lot of people are going to have a problem with that 117, 111 scorecard. Yeah. But, Charlo was trying to lay back. He was trying to be the counter puncher in this fight. For a good portion of rounds, he would try to suck Castano into a counter punch because he believes in his power. So he's saying to himself, let this guy come to me, let this guy throw the punches, and I'm going to, as soon as he finishes with his flurry, I'm going to jump on him and suck him into, a big right hand or a big left hook. Caught him with a left hook, caught him with a couple big right hands. I thought he hurt Castano maybe 3 times in the fight, but I also thought Castano hurt him about 2 or 3 times, buzzed him a couple times. I think the big thing here was, like I said, Charlo was laying back trying to suck Castano into a trap, but Castano wasn't biting on it. Castano would feint. He would throw a lot of feints. He would get low, would move his head, and a lot of times Castano would throw the feint and then just shoot a straight right, throw a feint, and then come in with a hook. So he'd feint his way inside, and he's getting past Charlo's jab, because Charlo was kind of throwing a rangefinder at first. He wasn't really, stepping in with the jab. He was extending it and throwing it as a rangefinder. But when he made that adjustment and he started stepping in and shortening up the jab and throwing it with some authority, more along the lines of trying to push Castano back and step to Castano, you could see how he would shorten it up, bend the knee a little bit, and really step in and throw it as a power punch to set up that right hand. So that was the adjustment he made. Like, he knew that, okay, I can't wait on this guy because I'm having a hard time timing him because he's feinting his way in, he's getting low, and he's moving his head a little bit. And, he's not leading with the jab all the time. Sometimes he is leading with the jab, but other times, like I said, he's leading with the power punch, but whether it be the right hand or even kind of feinting and lean and dipping the shoulder and then throwing a short hook. And he was doing beautiful body work. So the beautiful thing about Castano is, in this fight, the adjustment he made was, instead of having a lot of excessive movement, covering a lot of ground with his movement, he was making subtle movement. Emil Carr and I were talking about this earlier today on the phone. Shout out to Emil Carr. Maestro A is his YouTube channel, because he said the adjustment that Castano made was, he would step back and then slide off to his left or his right, and make Charlo have to reach and reset to land power shots. So a lot of times what he was doing was he would slide back and he would step off to his left to kind of avoid that hook, and he was keeping that right hand up high because he knew that hook was coming. So he was very versatile in what he was doing. He was really cerebral, really calculated what he was doing, and I thought, because he kept changing up his attack pattern and he kept throwing those feints, and he wasn't moving as much as he normally does, and he wasn't throwing as many punches. He was still throwing more than Charlo, but what he was trying to do was he was trying to come with some quality shots, not just throw flurries. He was actually sitting down, making a concerted effort to get Charlo's respect in this fight. Whereas when he fought Lara, he was just trying to land shots. He was trying to outwork Lara because he knew Lara didn't have a high output. But with Charlo, he said to himself, I got to get this guy's respect. I got to put this guy on his back foot a little bit and make him think twice about coming forward, because if I let this guy get confident on me and he gains momentum, this guy is probably the hardest puncher that I've ever faced. I can't deal with this guy coming forward. I got to make this guy think twice coming forward and get comfortable and getting off those power shots. So that's what I think happened. And I think Charlo was sitting there saying, well, he didn't fight like he normally fight. He usually throws more punches, as if that would be a feather in his cap. But he didn't throw more punches because, again, he was taking a little bit off of the quantity to add to the quality. So he took a little bit off the quantity to add to the quality, right? And you saw what happened by him doing that. Again, the movement was subtle this time and not really excessive, covering a lot of ground. He shortened up the movement a little bit and stayed within range so he could just jump right back into the fray with Charlo and not really give Charlo space and time to think. That was the thing. Charlo, you made a statement that you thought Charlo was thinking too much. The reason why he gave you that impression was because he's used to having more time and he's used to having more space. Castano didn't give him the time and the space that he wanted. So that's why he was kind of like, what am I going to do here? I'm kind of out of my element a little bit here. So I think you hit the nail on the head with a couple of the points you made. And at the end of this fight, Charlo looked happy to get a draw. He didn't look too confident at the end of this fight when these scorecards were being read. Castano thought he won. He knew he looked like a guy who thought he won the fight right from the beginning. Whether or not that means anything, I'm not so sure Charlo is going to be that eager to get back in there with Castano. Castano seemed a lot more enthusiastic, a lot more excited, and seemed more willing to want to get back in there with Charlo. Charlo didn't seem to be. He didn't seem
that eager at the press conference.
He didn't seem to be that eager. Yeah, he didn't seem to have that same energy as Castano had.
Right. For sure. Let's go over the scores here real quick because I didn't give you guys the scores and I should have. I'm sorry. Just is what it is. Scores were 114, 113 for Castano, 117, 111 for Charlo, which I'm just completely baffled by, and 114 all a draw. Let me ask you, Beeb. Steve Weisfeld, what is it, the 10th round? Was it the 10th round he gave him that 10-8 round?
10-8 round, yeah.
With no knockdown. What do you have more of a problem with? I'll tell you, I have a problem with both of them, I can't lie. What's more problematic here? That 10th round that he gave a 10-8 round to, where there was no knockdown, clearly not a 10-8 round, and it wasn't a 10-8 round. I mean, it really wasn't a 10-8 round. Or the 117-111 card.
Probably the 117-111 card.
Yeah, I got to lean toward that too, but I didn't like either one of them. I didn't like either, like I said, I mean, even though that lad in Castano, I mean, that 114, 113 was for Castano. I mean, dude, like, really?
Let me ask you this, because this was another thing that Maestro and I talked about too. I think when Castano hurt Charlo with the left hook and he buckled him, you could see that Charlo kind of fell back into the ropes and his butt hit the rope. You can make an argument the rope was holding him up. So if you're going to give him a 10-8, give Charlo a 10-8, why not give Castano a 10-8 for that? All right?
It really is. Coco the Don, thank you so much. We really appreciate it, man. Thank you very much for the support. He says, get ready. Here it comes. The Charlo propaganda. Castano 8-4. Don't mention Canelo. Life and death with Castano. Case closed. Charlo doesn't want no smoke with Castano. He's right. He's 100% right. And you know what? I hope the Charlo Canelo talk, slows down a little bit. G Funky had mentioned this too. They misspelled Castano's name on the official scorecards as well. This is a unification. This is like the title fight, unification fight, and misspelled his name on a scorecard. I tell you what, man. I told you before the fight was announced, or before the decision was announced, my score was 116-112 for Castano. I told you, I said it would not shock me to have Charlo winning this fight wide, because they're in Texas. He's a PBC guy, the house fighter, the Showtime fighter. And sure enough, 117-111, that comes out.
You said it. You said it. You said watch Charlo get the decision. You thought he was getting, and watch the scorecards be wide. I tweeted out. I said I got Castano in at 115-113, but I'm expecting to hear some fucked up scorecards.
Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely.
And
we did.
And shout out to Ring IQ, because he said the same thing. He's like, all you guys on Twitter are acting so surprised, but you know the drill. They're in Texas, right? Charlo's from Texas. I mean, what do you expect, right? I'm going to be honest with you. Castano, Ring IQ said this, and I'm going to echo his sentiments. Castano's lucky to get out of there with a draw. He should feel fortunate, because I thought they were going to I thought that the scorecards were going to have Charlo winning. When they were announcing those scorecards, I didn't think Castano was going to win. I didn't even think it was going to be a draw. I thought Castano was going to lose 117 or 111 and like 118 or 110 on the other two. I didn't expect Castano to get the benefit of the doubt with any of the three judges. So
it is. JC, thank you so much. He said if Castano fought Charlo's fight and Charlo fought like Castano fight, the judges would give Charlo the W. I agree with that 100%.
Yeah. 100%. And here's the thing. These judges, they know, I think, and this is my opinion, there's always that one judge that, he may kind of be cool with somebody in the promotion or whatever. And he's saying that, he's concerned and he's got to do a solid for the promotion probably, or he may not get called up again. Who knows?
And he's got to do a solid because somebody deposited $5,000 in his bank account allegedly.
Well, I'm not going to go that far, but the thing is this: these judges, they know that if they do favors are going to get done for them. I'm not saying they're going to get paid off, but they're going to keep getting called up, right? Because it's no coincidence that there's always one of these cards, and it's always for the name fighter or the house fighter or the fighter who's got the promote, who's the bigger name, really. The more popular fighter seems to always get the benefit of the doubt, right? AHDZ says, sad how low the bar is, that we should be happy with Castano got a draw. He's right. Yeah,
he's 100% right.
It's very sad, to be perfectly honest.
I know, right? It's insane, man. You watch this fight. I could watch it over and over. We're going to have the same score. I I can't understand. And listen, man, I'm the first one. I really do. I defend the judges and I defend the referees a lot. But this one was tough. I mean, 117 to 111. I don't know what you were watching. How could you say it was 117, 111? And to a person that everybody I've seen online, everybody I've seen everywhere, nobody had Charlo winning this fight. They may have had a draw, but nobody. You either had Castano win the fight or you had it a draw. I don't understand.
Now, let me ask you this. Are you disappointed with the draw? Do you think a draw is reasonable?
No.
I don't think this fight was a robbery. I think a draw is plausible. I mean, I just don't think Charlo. I think it'd be hard pressed to say Charlo won. I think a draw is plausible. So I'm not going to say the fight was a robbery because, like I said, if I could have easily given that fifth round to Charlo as well as the sixth, then I would have had it a draw. But then the argument is I could have given the 11th to Castano, and then I still would have had 115 and 113. You know, so there's so many angles here that you could kind of go off of, but I don't know, man.
Yeah, it's tough. It is tough. But again, man, I didn't see anybody who said Charlo won, with the exception of the one judge. You know what I mean? That was it. The one judge was the only one I saw do that. So G Funky said that judge owes us an explanation for the abomination of a scorecard. Why don't they interview? Is that, I don't know if that's illegal. I don't know if that's I don't know. I don't know if that's if they can do that or they can't. So I've seen, like, you know, it doesn't seem like they really corner these guys at the end and say, hey, what about your scorecard? Nobody ever gets to interview the judges or whatever. Now, I don't know if they're out of the building or they're just not available, or they don't put them on press row for comments after the fight, but I don't know. Boxer Girl says Christina P was asking why they can't interview judges. She's right. I don't know if you can or you can't. I'll be honest with you. I don't know. Now, they've interviewed referees before. I've seen them interview referees. They've interviewed quite a few, you know. But yeah, I've never seen them interview judges, and I don't know if that's by choice or, again, if they just kind of, you know, they kind of sneak out at it because they're not available. They're not, like, readily available, you know. So yeah, I'm not 100% sure. I'll be honest with you. I don't know. Let's talk about, let's see here. One other comment that I wanted to make here, man, is that if I'm Terrence Crawford, I'm moving up to 154 because I think he washes either one of these guys. And I think that's a good move for him. My fear, of course, is that Bob Arum won't be able to make the fight because you can't make any fight for Terrence Crawford for some unknown reason. You got the best fighter in the world, you know, possibly one of the best fighters in the world, pound for pound, and you can't make a big fight with him. You're a promoter, you know, so I don't know what to say to that, to be honest with you. But if I'm Terrence Crawford, I'm moving up. I'm forgetting Errol Spence. You move up, you are pound for pound number one regardless. I mean, so there you go. And then all of a sudden,
they don't want that smoke with Crawford. They don't want that smoke with Crawford.
No. But, you know, if I'm PBC, how many of these, you know, Charlo, listen, man, I mean, Charlo got beat by Tony Harrison. He clearly got beat by Castano last night. Not going to want a rematch. He's going to have to fight some other, you know, they're one of them is going to have to fight a mandatory. I'm 100% sure of that. I don't know that we see this fight again, to be honest with you.
I don't think we're going to see it again. I don't think Heyman's going to allow it to happen, to be honest with you.
No, and you know what? I'm okay with it. I saw the fight. I saw who won.
I'm not okay with it.
How dare you?
I'm not.
How dare you?
I want to see it again, man.
Oh, stop it! You've already seen it.
You got to stop with these
one and done.
These boycotts to rematches.
Why do we need to see it? We just saw it. You just saw it.
Why not? Why not see it again? It was a good fight. Come on, bro.
I just seen it, man. I don't need to see it again. I already seen it.
It was a good fight.
It was a great fight. It really was. Really good fight. Yeah, Outlaw hit it on the head. We'll see it again in pay-per-view for $80. Yeah, right. Yeah. $80. There you go.
Got the
Let's talk about the
Got the poll.
I saw that poll is awesome, by the way.
Got to get the poll going here.
There you go. Let's talk about the undercard here real quick. Rolly Romero versus Anthony Yiggett. Romero beats Yiggett in about the seventh, I think a TKO in the seventh round. Yiggett was a late replacement. He was about 5 pounds overweight, and I believe I heard them say he hadn't fought in 2 years. That being said, Romero looked good. Did what he was supposed to do, babe. After the fight, go ahead.
It kind of looked like a tough man contest, though, didn't it?
I think a lot of that was Yiggett. I really do. I think a lot of that was Yiggett. I think Romero's a good fighter, man. I know a lot of people hate him. I know he got a lot of hate for his comments after the fight. But I don't mind. I think he's a good fighter. And after the fight, he said he wanted to fight Tank Davis. Everybody thought that was ridiculous. Why is it ridiculous?
Because he's not going to win, and he could get hurt.
Who's Tank fighting? Who's Tank fighting?
He could get hurt.
Who's
badly.
Who's Tank fighting? Who's Tank going to fight next? You know what I mean? At least this guy's calling him out. Come on, man. Give him a shot. Give him a shot.
I don't know, man.
Give him a shot. Let Tank run over him. Why not? He's going to run over his next guy. What's the difference if he runs over this guy or his next guy? You know what I mean? And who's he going to fight anyway? He's going to fight somebody with no name, and he's going to fight they're going to put him with a guy who doesn't have a chance to beat him because that's how they're building. He's not going to be in there with a Devin Haney, a Ryan Garcia. He's not going to be there at anybody who poses any kind of threat. Why not put him in there? It's the easiest fight to make. They both fight for Mayweather. It's the easiest fight to make. Put him in there.
I'll watch it, but I'll be praying. I'll be praying for Raleigh, man. I'll be lighting a candle for him.
Boxer Girl says, why not give Tank a tune-up? Exactly, man. Exactly. Give him a tune-up, son. Why not?
Oh, Raleigh's a tune-up now? That's what you want? That's what you want? The interim champ is a tune-up?
The interim champ. Oh, my God.
You going to do it like that?
What's that?
I said, you're going to do him like that? The interim champ is a tune-up?
Interim champ.
WBA interim lightweight. Yo, so do you think he stays he's going to have to go back if he wants to defend that title, but he was talking about fighting Tank at 140. So what about that 135-pound title, that interim title?
Fight him at the local McDonald's. I don't care. I don't care what weight. I want to see these two in the ring, man. This is the only guy who's aggressively called out Tank and said, hey, I want to get this done, who I think Tank would just steamroll, or I think it would be, listen, man, you never know. Yeah, maybe he can get a shot in, whatever. But, I mean, it's an entertaining – that's a fun fight, right?
Funny.
It's a fun fight. No, it's not a fun fight.
It is a fun fight, but –
there you go.
Raleigh's going to get hurt.
How do you know? You're cold-blooded, dude.
Now I know you're trolling.
You're just cold-blooded.
Now I know you're trolling.
Cold-blooded, son. It's cold. What did you think? What do you think of Raleigh? You think he's any good?
I think he's a little rough around the edges.
Strong kid.
There's a lot of strong people out there, man. But I don't know if they can be.
There's a lot of strong people out there.
They could be world-class boxers, man.
Yeah, that's listen, man. I'll tell you, I'll go on record. I want to see that fight. I want to see it. Yeah, the interim and regular WBA championship on the
unification. It could be unification.
There it is. Amilcar Vidal versus Emmanuel Alim. Vidal wins majority decision 95-95, 97-93, 97-93. So there you go. I watched this fight. I don't know if there's really much to talk about, to be honest with you. Anything to say on this one, Beeb?
I thought it was a fun fight. It was an entertaining fight. But I think the right man won. I thought he won that fight. I thought he won it. I didn't think the fight was that close, to be honest with you. I thought it was, You could tell he was definitely the more heavy-handed guy. He hurt him more. So
I thought 97-93 was good. I mean, people were,
Yeah. I thought the scorecards were pretty good. I just didn't. I didn't think it was a close fight.
I didn't either.
I didn't think it.
All right, let's go to the phones real quick. Ringside Robert on the line here. 530.
Hello, guys. How are you
Live.
this evening?
Hey, what's up, man?
Not much. Yeah, that was an interesting card, and Eric, I think Raleigh would get run over by Tank. And remember,
Of course he would.
They said they wanted to make Tank a pay-per-view star. So are you willing to pay to see Raleigh get run over?
Nobody's paying to see Tank either way. They're not. It's his last pay-per-view. What was his last pay-per-view number? Like 200?
200. Get that.
You got to make him a pay-per-view. You got to put him on free TV so people know who he is. Nobody's buying his fights anyway.
I know. But no, I thought Castano won, even though I scored it a draw. I thought he was the better fighter. And I'm not going to call it a robbery. I think it was an interesting fight, and it was interesting. Normally after the fight, Showtime, they put up their Twitter results on who people thought won the fight, and normally you see it, pretty close. 73% of the people watching the fight on Showtime last night thought that Castano won the fight. So,
do you trust Twitter's opinion, though?
Robbie,
no.
I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed, no. Robbie. I'm disappointed.
Let him have it, Beeb.
Why?
You scored the fight a draw, right?
Yeah.
Now you're hearing everybody cry robbery. Now you just want to go with the pack, right? You want to join. No. You want to join the herd. That's what you want to do. Stick to your guns. You scored the fight a draw. Say the fight was a draw. You can't say you think Castano won. You scored the fight a draw.
You're wrong, Beeb. I flip-flop all the time. There's nothing wrong with that.
All right?
Yeah.
Please.
No,
stand on your square, Robert. Stand on your square.
Joe.
Stand on your square.
Joe, I thought going into the fight, Castano would win. But when I added up my scorecard at the end of the night, it turned out to be a draw.
Robbie, you hear what you just said?
Come on.
Remember, how do you score a fight though?
You know what that's like saying, well, you know what? I went to the grocery store and I spent $1,000. Going in, I thought I had enough money in my bank account, but come to find you only had 800 in there, but I thought I had 1,000. That makes no sense.
I think you like to argue.
So how do you score a fight? You don't know the score going in? Like when you're in the 5th round, you don't know the score?
No.
Robbie, Robbie, aren't you adding the card that's the score up as you're scoring the rounds, as Eric just said?
Yes.
Then how were you surprised you had a draw? How are you surprised you had a draw? You had been counting as you were scoring.
Because
you just want to go with the herd, man. You want to be part of the pack. I know you.
No.
I know you. The peer pressure gets you. Peer pressure gets you every time. Stand on your square. Stand on your square, Robert.
Stop it, Beeb.
No, I think you just like to argue.
Oh, that's a cop out. I think you're projecting.
Projecting.
No, I think you just like to argue.
That's all you got, Robbie? That's all you got for a comeback?
No, but seriously, guys.
Get a calculator. I'm going to send you a calculator to Shasta Lake, California.
Shasta Lake?
That's where he lives.
Is it Shasta Lake? You just gave his address out. Yeah. You just gave his address out. I didn't
give the number. I didn't give the house.
You gave his address out. 425 Shasta Lake. You just gave that out on the air. That's messed up.
Yeah, right.
That's messed up, man.
What are you trying to do? Get me convicted here for doxing? Please. You need me on the show. You trying to get rid of me?
Our post office is screwed up anyway.
You need me here.
Anyway, I agree with both of you. We won't see a rematch in this fight because they have mandatories to deal with. And the way Charlo looked last night, he'll probably lose one of those fights.
Wow, you're just jumping right off the Charlo bandwagon. Well,
one tough fight. One tough fight, man.
One tough fight. You're already giving him. You're already giving him. He better. He needs to. You're already giving him the. He needs to find something else to do. Speech already after one tough fight. One tough fight. Man. One tough fight, and that's what you're doing. Come on.
No.
Come on, Robert.
No. All 6 fighters that fought last night. They all deserve to keep on fighting. I didn't see anybody that needed to find anything else to do. So,
what about Anthony Yiggett?
Well,
he came in 5 pounds heavy. He hadn't fought in 2 years. Got steamrolled.
that's stupidity because he just handed the other guy I don't know how much extra, but and you know what? I like the guts of the guy calling out Davis, but it'll be interesting to see if Floyd's got the guts to do something like that since he represents both guys.
I just can't believe Robbie doesn't have the score cut up as he's scoring the fight. I'm still trying to get past that one.
Well, yeah, because you got like, and you could tell like, what I'm trying to understand though isn't like, you know, even if you give him like 4 rounds to 4 or something like, I mean, you know, like at the end, you know what I mean?
Robbie, what's 4 times 10?
What's the matter with you?
Oh my God! That's come on. Give me a break.
Ridiculous.
All right, I'll leave you alone, Robbie. I'm sorry.
What's the matter with you?
I got to give you credit. You got the zone finally.
Hey, I got the zone and ESPN Plus. So
holla.
What do you want, a cookie?
Stop it. What's the matter with you?
No, I don't want it. I've got plenty of sweets, thank you.
So, Robbie, what did you think of the overall card? Did you think it was a good card?
I think, hey, for a Showtime on a Saturday night, I thought it was a decent card. You know, I thought all 3 fights were entertaining in their own way. Let's see what Ronnie Shields can do with Emmanuel Aleem, since that was his first fight working with him. Let's see if he can actually turn that kid's career around. You know, he had difficulty last night, and you could see, but let's get Ronnie Shields some time, and let's see if he can make anything out of him. You know, and hey, it gets its own fault for A, coming in 5 pounds overweight, and B, not fighting in 2 years. So he can't.
They needed him to play. He was a late sub. It wasn't like he just, you know, he had all this time to prepare. He was a late sub.
Robbie, the guy's got bills to pay, all right? What do you think?
How long? He's just kicking everybody water down.
How long do you think those PUA payments are going to last?
For the rest of my life. What are you talking about?
They're up in September,
well,
right?
Remember,
the PUA assistance is up in September. The guy's got to put food on the table. You don't want him to fight?
God.
Hey, remember, Joe, he's in Sweden, so he probably doesn't even get access to that kind of stuff.
Now you want to be Now you want to be xenophobic and say that you don't. So they don't have COVID in Sweden now. You don't think that they have to deal with the issues of COVID over there, Robert? How heartless can you be?
Hey, everybody.
How heartless can you be?
Completely heartless, man.
How heartless can you be, Robert?
Hey, everybody's got COVID, but not everybody hands out money like it's going out of style like we do.
I don't think Mexico has COVID.
We don't fuck around in Mexico.
Right?
That's right. That's right.
All right, Robert, we're going to get rolling here, man. Stay on the line. I'll go ahead and put you on.
We'll see you guys.
All right, man.
All right.
Just rolled over him, B. What's the matter with you? What's the matter with you?
Guys in the chat, make sure you hit the like button.
Yeah, what's going on in the chat here today? You know, we got a bunch of people watching. Nobody's hitting the like button.
Everyone hit the like button.
Come on, guys. Just one. I'm not asking you to work in a coal mine here. Just hit a button, son. All the people in the chat, Shoe Shine, salute. Chandler M, Notorious VC, salute. Boxer Girl. I see Boxer Girl on Twitter all the time. We both see her on Twitter all the time, man. Thank you so much for joining us today. We appreciate it, man. Appreciate you coming out. Notorious VC, D-Style, Outlaw, salute. Mr. Sinister, Hamed, salute. Zone 6, Sneezy Foster, Mr. Sinister, and everybody else that I missed. Salute to you guys, man. Thank you guys so much for coming out. Let's go to, let's see here, 805. 805, you're live.
Hey, guys, what's up?
Wake up, man. Why is there always a 10-minute delay every time we go to you, brother?
Wow. Beats all over people today, man.
You're sitting there clearing your throat.
All over.
What is wrong with you today?
Filling up your soda glass. Let's get with it.
You want to be a jerk to everybody. Robbie, now me. Like,
right? Call him out, Nacho. Okay. And Nacho beat you in trivia, and you're still holding that.
I see how you roll.
You're still holding that, Nacho.
Yeah, B, quit being so damn salty.
Yeah.
Quit being so goddamn salty, B. Seriously.
You're just mad because Charlo didn't get the decision, man.
Go ahead. Tell him it was a robbery, Nacho. Go ahead and tell him it was a robbery.
Who's your scorecard, Nacho?
My scorecard was 8-4. That is about as close as you can get to a blatant robbery that I've ever seen. I mean, Beeb, there's
Daylight.
no way. There is no way. I watched that fight twice. There is absolutely no way. I don't care how many Charlo apologists say it or talk about it. You literally have to bend over backwards to give Charlo more than 4 rounds, in my opinion.
Wow, I gave him
felt
5. I
Castano
gave him 5. Is there something wrong with
dictated
me?
the fight.
Yeah, Beeb, you don't know how to score.
Is there something wrong with me?
You're
I
like
gave him
Adelaide
5
Bird
rounds.
over there, son.
I had a 7-5. Am I okay? I mean,
Gabe Bird.
am I allowed
Adelaide
to
Bird's lost
am I allowed
long
to
son.
score
I
fights
guess.
anymore? Am I going to get suspended,
Yeah.
or can I still score fights?
All your cards are unofficial, son. We don't even count them anymore.
Is your name Nelson Vasquez, Beeb?
I just want to get put on the don't ask, don't tell
nacho
list.
Yeah,
I don't want to get put on the. I don't want to get put on
You're
the.
already on that list, son.
I don't want to get put on the pay
don't
me.
ask, don't tell list.
I don't want to get put on the pay me no mind list here. I don't want to get put on that list.
Name's on the don't ask,
like I
don't
was
tell
saying,
list.
I'm sorry,
Castano
Nacho.
to me like dictated the fight. He forced Charlo to fight his fight. Charlo never forced Castano to really fight his fight. He pressed him against the ropes practically all night. You know, he had effective body punching. He landed a lot of sneaky right hands when Charlo wasn't expecting it. And I just felt like overall he put in the better work throughout the fight. Yeah, Charlo had his moments like he had in round 2 and round 10 where he hurt Castano and he wobbled him and, you know, he made him have to retreat and, you know, kind of gather himself again. But overall, I just thought Castano was the one who basically dictated the terms of the fight. Charlo never put his imprint on the fight other than in the 2 rounds where he legitimately hurt Castano because he just kept relying on getting Castano to run into like some sort of shot he wasn't going to see. And for the most part, Castano did a hell of a job of never walking into a shot that he didn't see. He was able to move his head side to side. He was able to put his guard up, and he was able to block a lot of Charlo's 1-2s down the middle. I mean, to me, the biggest indictment being was Derek James is literally yelling at Charlo in the corner at the end of the fight. You need a knockout to win. I mean, I've never heard Derek James ever have to tell Charlo that in the corner, saying that you need a knockout to win. So if his own trainer really felt like he's in jeopardy of losing the fight, that should tell you what kind of a fight it really was. And I think like you guys said, I think Charlo's very fortunate that he got the draw. He's very fortunate he goes home with his belt. I just don't see a rematch happening anytime soon, to be honest with you, like you guys were saying. Castano has a mandatory against Tim Tszyu at some point that's going to be up, and then
that's going to be a good fight.
What's it called? Yeah, that should be a good fight. And then I think Charlo isn't he going to have to give Lubin another shot? Because I could have sworn.
I think he might. Yeah, I think so. I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't think we're going to see a rematch. I just don't. I think PBC is very, very happy that Charlo walks away with his belts and you know they get to say that they have you know the belts in their side of the street. Because I think if Castano had won, there's no way they would have been able to do anything about it at that point. They would have been you know left empty-handed because Castano's not technically a PBC guy. He's just kind of like a guy who's affiliated with them because of Lykowitz. But yeah, it's disappointing that Castano didn't get the win, but I don't think he gets another shot at Charlo. But we'll see. With Rolly Romero and Yigit, oh my God, that was horrible. I've seen Yigit fight. I honestly thought he was going to put up a better effort last night.
He's been off for 2 years, Nacho.
No, I know, but the one thing I will say is I don't understand the referee literally letting Rolly Romero judo hip toss Yigit and not penalizing a point from him.
Listen, man, sometimes you just got to hip toss somebody. You know what I
like,
mean? It is what it is.
Yeah, but this isn't MMA, Eric. This is boxing. Like, you're not allowed to hip toss a guy just because you feel like
it's just a hip toss.
And then the only time he did take a point was, and then the only time he did take a point was when he went and hit Giga below the belt. But I mean, you know, Romero won. You give him credit. The kid has power for, you know, being an awkward 135 pounder. I don't think it's a bad idea to match him up against Tank, because to be honest, who the hell else is PBC gonna have him fight? Are they gonna dig up the bones of, you know, some nobody or some washed up veteran? I mean, unless they give him Isaac Cruz, which I wouldn't mind seeing, but I don't think that's gonna happen. I mean, I don't mind him getting Romero, but like Robbie was saying, I seriously doubt. Yeah, I seriously doubt Floyd matches them up, because those are his two guys, and he's going to try to keep them as separated as long as he can. So, I don't know. I just think, you know, Romero's been handled very carefully, and it'll be interesting to see what the next steps are as far as his career. And then with the first fight was Vidal. Vidal won, but to be honest, I thought the performance was a little, you know, lackluster. I thought Aleem did a little bit better than most people gave him credit for. I thought the fight was a little closer. I scored it 96-94 for Vidal. I think Vidal kind of pulled it out towards the end of the fight. But, you know, he's a decent prospect, but I'm not sure if he could be a legitimate guy at 150. Do you guys think he could be a legitimate guy at 150?
Nope.
Yeah. I don't think so.
Not even a little bit.
I think he's more of a project.
Yeah, this guy is definitely a project, man.
Yeah,
that ain't happening.
Yeah, I think he's more of a project than him. I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing Aleem again, because he's always a guy who's in pretty entertaining scraps. And like Robbie was saying, now that he's with Ronnie Shields, who knows? Maybe the kid can turn his career around and get some wins and kind of put his name out there and stuff. But it was a decent card, like Robbie said, considering it was a Showtime card. It actually ended up being somewhat entertaining to watch. But I feel horrible for Castano. I don't see him getting another shot at Charlo. And the one thing that was funny was, like, I saw the Charlo apologist saying, oh, well, maybe Charlo was weight drained at 54, maybe he needs to move up to 60. But then I saw an article where they interviewed him a couple of days before the fight. And, I mean, unless Charlo's lying, Charlo literally said that right before the weigh-in, right after the weigh-in, he said, I have no problem making 54. He goes, I walk around, like, below 60. So he goes, I don't have an issue making 54. And
what's he going to say? He's weight drained?
He's stuck.
You know what I mean? Of course he's going to say that.
I was going to say. He's not going to admit it. But it was funny because he literally admitted that he doesn't move to 160 because his brother's there. And I was like, really? Like, so you're going to literally suffer in a weight division that you no longer can make just because your brother's in the next weight class up? I mean, unless PBC's going to have them fight each other, who the hell cares?
Stop it. What's the matter? They're brothers.
You know?
What's the matter with you?
Okay.
They're brothers.
That doesn't mean that he can't move up to 160.
Oh, stop it.
That doesn't mean he can't move up to 160 and fight, Eric. What are they going to do?
He just wants to see brothers fight. Like it's a civil war or something. What's the matter with you, Nacho?
I'd hate to be growing up in your house.
Doom and gloom. Yeah, right.
Let me reach for that last pork chop. You'd probably stick a fork in my hand.
Right. Hard times over there, man.
I could just tell.
What's wrong with you?
Right?
Come on.
Let me grab that last can of soda. You'd probably chuck it off my head. You just tell, man. I can just tell you, man. I know how you roll now.
Yeah, right.
Right.
He ain't playing over at Nacho's house.
All right, B.
All right, Nacho, we're gonna get running, man.
I'll be waiting for that rematch.
That's right.
I'm dying. I'm dying to rematch him, man. Oh, I got robbed in that first one.
Nacho, we're gonna beat you again, man. What are you gonna do?
No way.
What are you gonna do, man? It is what it is.
I'm taking major L's, man. I got a pie in the face a couple weeks ago, and I got to deal with this.
Now you got to deal with Nacho, boy. Notorious VC, thank you so much. He said, come on, Nacho, they're blood brothers, twins. See? Everybody's on the family bandwagon, man. Yeah. Also, too, our poll is up. Castano by 76%. You guys say he won. So there you go. That's who won the fight. Big time. All right, North Carolina, 919. I believe it's North Carolina. We'll see. 919, you're live.
Yeah, that's true, man. Hey, how you doing, man? This is Julius, and 919 Raleigh, but I live in the DMV now, though. But
All right.
this is my first time calling, man. Boxer Girl hooked me up, y'all line, and so I like y'all show, man.
We appreciate it, man.
I was gonna say this. Look, a lot of people are acting surprised that Castano did good. Now, my original prediction was either a draw or a close Charlo win. But listen, though, Castano should have been the favorite anyway for people that have been watching his career. Charlo is good, but he can be outboxed at times. He definitely can be out hustled. And since he got with Derrick James, he's acted more like he was a puncher than anything else, to be honest with you. Castano thought when he impressed me by doing what he did to Laura, when Laura still had his legs under him. You get what I'm saying? So I don't know why people were acting surprised or shocked that Castano didn't win or that he pushed Charlo the way he did. Because to me, I thought that really, even though I was picking Charlo close or a draw, I really thought that he was actually the favorite. Remember, he was the Olympian. He's the one that beat Spence and all those different guys in the amateurs, where Charlo didn't have that great of an amateur career. And he really wasn't all that ho-hum of a pro prospect until people didn't really start talking about him till he was going to fight Andre that time on HBO, and Boo Boo pulled out the week of the fight. Then people started talking about the Charlo brothers and what they can do, and did Andre ducking. Because up until that point, he was a guy that was just fighting on Golden Boy cards. They would just throw both of them boys in when they could. So I don't understand now, because he beat Lubin, who can fight. I'm going to give Lubin his credit. And I think more people be judging these fighters off of what kind of hype they got and what they talk about and the things that they say, instead of just really watching what they do in the ring. Because if you watch what they do in the ring, you would know that the bigger Charlo, Jamal, would have had a better time fighting Castano than Jamel, who sit back and relax. A relaxing fighter will never be able to beat Castano. Trust me on that. Unless he punched like Trinidad, somebody like that. Telling you, man. And Castano, and to me, I've been hearing people say that Derrick James had a bad game plan. I don't believe that. I believe that Charlo is a guy that doesn't listen. He, when he hurt Castano in the second round, that was it. He felt that he could lay back on the ropes and he could catch him again. And it didn't happen for 8 more rounds. So to me, Castano get kudos. I even give kudos to Charlo for staying in the fight, because to me, he won the last 3 rounds. It wouldn't even have been a conversation about a draw had he not did that.
Very true.
So,
Yeah, I think you're right on all counts here. And he's right. I think, like I said, man, as soon as he landed that shot, he fell in love with his power like he normally does, and he laid back and he waited for that same shot over and over and over again. So there you go. All right, Julius, man, we're going to get running.
He has done that in other fights.
Yeah.
Hey, man. Yeah, man. Thanks, man. Thanks for taking my call, man. Y'all take care, man.
Absolutely, man. Thank you so much for calling.
Call in again soon.
Absolutely. One more before we go to the news here. Let's see here. Beeb, where do the best calls come from?
Oh, you know Ohio, man.
OHIO, son.
I always represent when they call in here.
614 Ohio, you're live.
What's good, guys? Marcus, Ohio runs boxing.
Ohio runs. What's up, man?
Been a while, but it's always a pleasure.
Absolutely.
Always a pleasure.
Oh yeah, definitely, guys. Definitely. Good fights, man. Last night was some good fights, man. Rolly, I'm just jump on Rolly real quick, man.
Everybody's
Rolly,
doing that.
I know.
Rolly is a great villain. He's great for boxing, and I think a lot of people can't stand him, and I think that's good. So
that's great.
I don't think he's that good of a fighter in my opinion, but he's gonna bring eyeballs to the TV.
A lot of people say he was dirty too. Think he's a dirty fighter. I think you can see that. I thought it was a martial arts film, seeing all these elbows and shoulders going on, man. That was crazy. But anyway, the main event, man. I had Castano winning, man. I think the last caller was talking about his amateur pedigree, and he believed that Castano should have been the favorite. Should have been the favorite. I disagree. Yes, he had a good amateur pedigree. He beat Errol Spence, but you don't really base that on the pro rankings, man. Charlo deserved to be the favorite. He had 3 belts. You know, so to sit there and have everybody be like, I don't know why everybody's favoring Charlo. He deserved that. He deserved to be the favorite. But I didn't think he won that fight last night, man. I didn't think he won the fight. He was backing up. He was backing up a lot, man, and that's what you do to Charlo. People act like we haven't seen this from Charlo before. I don't understand excuses. Tony Harrison had a good performance on him. He got caught during the exchange. What would the scorecards look like if Tony Harrison went the distance with Charlo? I mean, he was winning that fight. The Jackson fight, he was losing that fight. He escaped it with power. He escaped those fights with power. But when people say it could have went either way, I don't like really hearing that, because we know Charlo is the money man. We know if the fight is close, Charlo is going to get the decision, period. I know when Sean Porter fought Ugas and the fight was going to be close, I knew that Porter was going to get the decision. That's just how the business is. People don't like it, but that's how it is. I knew that he had to fight Errol Spence next for pay-per-view. That was a big unification. That's how it is. I mean, that's the game. I hate it, but I don't think Al is going to go into a rematch with Castano. I just don't think so. I don't think they're going to take that risk. Castano's style is all wrong for Jamel. He has the perfect style for Jamel. I don't think Jamel is going to change. That's just who he is. People can say what they want. That's just who he is. And I think Castano's style is all wrong for Jamel. They're going to have all types of excuses they want. So, with that being said, I hope they do fight again. I don't want to be long. And shout out to my boy Charles Conwell. I talked to him the other day. He watched the fight. He's at 154. For those who don't know who Charles Conwell is, he's a former Olympian. He's fighting on the undercard in Cleveland next month, and on Jake Paul's fight. And his style would be all wrong for Jamel. I think if Jamel ever still had those belts, if he don't rematch Castano and Charles come up there in about a year or two, my goodness, man, Charles' style is all wrong for him, man. But that's just my call, guys. I ain't want to keep it too long.
All right, man. Thank you so much. Ohio Runs Boxing. Check him out on Facebook. He drops all kinds of tidbits about Ohio fighters. He's always done a lot of promotion for Ohio fighters. In fact, like I said, I think I've said this in the past. I say it every time he calls. He does more for Ohio fighters than the actual promoters in Ohio. I guess he works with all of them and stuff like that. He is amazing. So if you want to get recognized, if you're a fighter, you from Ohio, you want to get recognized, hit him up, man, because he will give you the treatment. That's for sure. All right, let's go to our upcoming, before we go back to the phones here. Let's talk about the upcoming fights next week. And so we got on the 24th, B, we got, we should have had Deontay Wilder, right? We should have had Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury. Yeah. COVID gotcha. What are you going to do? D-Style, thank you so much. He says, throw the towel in the Duke voice. Let's see here. All right, so next week, from London, Joe Joyce versus Carlos Takam, 12 rounds for the WBC heavyweight title eliminator. Now, it doesn't have a TV. It doesn't have a channel listed or anything like that. My guess is that it's going to be on ESPN Plus.
I'm hoping.
My guess is that somebody's going to pick this fight up. That's a big fight, man. Joe Joyce, Carlos Takam, it's a pretty big fight. After that, there's nothing there. The following week, we have July 31st. We have Conor Benn and Adrian Granados, which should have been a good fight. It's not going to be a good fight, but I think it should have been a good fight. With the lone exception, Adrian Granados is not a welterweight. That's not his best weight at all. So I think countervent, and plus it's in England. It's a good fight on paper. I don't know that it'll be a good fight in practicum. So we'll see what happens. But so that's the some slim pickings here in the summer, man. We should have had a big fight, Beeb. Your boys out there buying cars. Your boys out there buying sports cards with the COVID.
Yeah, man. I'm disappointed. Huh? I'm the biggest Tyson Fury fan of all time, and now that if I'm disappointed, something's wrong. Something's wrong.
He said he was cleared. I mean, and you know what the other thing is too, like that car dealership, this could have happened weeks ago, could happen. You know what I mean? You know when it was posted, you don't know when the picture was taken. You know what I mean? There's a lot of stuff. Everybody on Twitter went nuts about this. Tyson Fury showed up at a car dealership or whatever, they got his picture. But again, you don't know the context of the picture. You don't know when it happened, where it happened, how it happened. You just know when it was posted. That's it. So not a whole lot to go on there. But they did say he was clear. I guess he is clear of COVID now, and I guess he can resume training or whatever. I don't know. See what happens. News and rumors. All right. So it came out this week. Obviously, Jake Paul and Tyron Woodley and Ohio Runs Boxing actually made reference to this also. Will be in Titletown in Cleveland, baby, August 29th. But it's going to be on a Sunday, Beeb. Why are they doing this stuff on a Sunday? What's going on with Showtime pay-per-view?
They're trying to turn these into like events more along the lines, calling them sports entertainment like WWE. And what does WWE do? Is they put them on a Sunday. So they're trying to kind of get the boxing audience, but also get a broader audience, a mainstream audience, an entertainment type audience. They're trying to get those Jake Paul fans, and those people are probably out partying on a Saturday night, but on Sunday they're kind of chilling, right? So maybe they have a plan here. They had a good plan for Mayweather, Logan Paul, or it seemed to work out well for them, right? So
Mayweather could fight on a Tuesday and get people to watch him.
No, not necessarily, because when he fought Berto, only 500,000 people bought that one. I think people underestimate what these Paul brothers bring to the table. I really do.
I tell you what, and before you take a dump on the Paul brothers, before you take a dump all over Jake Paul, what's the first thing he did? Charles Conwell and Montana Love, both on that undercard, both Ohio fighters. They're going to get big recognition on that pay-per-view, son.
And plus, Logan Paul scored probably the greatest upset, probably even greater
Smash Mayweather.
Probably even greater than Buster Douglas upsetting Tyson, right?
What was the closer fight, the Castano fight or that Logan Paul Mayweather fight? I think the Castano fight was definitely closer. Logan Paul blew him out.
I thought Logan Paul won this one clearly, man.
It was easy pickings, man.
5 rounds to 3, easy.
He ain't got it no more, son. He ain't got it no more.
And
he's messing with a guy from Ohio? Are you serious? Titletown, baby. That's how we roll.
So Jake is just going to ride that momentum, man.
I'm going to tell you what. Jake is going to flatten Tyron Woodley.
He is.
Tyron Woodley,
really is.
He's old. His reflexes are gone, son. You've watched him in his last fight. You watched him against Covington. His reflexes are gone, son.
All right. He's got a family.
It's over with. He's got a family. I don't know if he does. I don't know if he does. I mean, obviously he's got a family. He's not Jesus. I mean, he came from somewhere, but I don't know, man.
Please.
I don't know.
Cut the guy some slack. Show him some love.
Right there.
Ohio is for real.
For real, son. For real, son. Your boy, Beeb. Your boy, James DeGale. His Olympic medal got stolen.
That's horrible.
What's up with that? Who steals an Olympic medal?
Well, think about this. I mean? Remember, Trisha Morrison told us. Trisha Morrison told us that they stole Tommy Morrison's WBO belt, and the WBO had to give her another one.
That's a low-life thing to do.
Right.
I mean, that's like somebody's trophy. You don't steal somebody's trophy. What are you going to do with that?
Go to Pawn Stars, that pawn shop in Vegas, right? Bring it right down there. Those guys would pay big money for it, right?
They'll probably give you $50 for it,
Can't tell them you stole it, obviously. That's something Robbie would do. He would steal it and then say, well, where'd you get it? Well, I stole it. Robbie, lie.
Yeah, so James DeGale quote said, "I'm gutted and I need my medals back." This is from TMC Sports. Can anybody help by reporting the information you have? Please share far and wide. Now, DeGale's got him on tape. I mean, he's got the whole thing on video. I guess he had security cameras set up and everything, and they hopefully they get it back, man. I mean, or they give him another one. I mean, obviously getting another one's not the same as the one you won that day. That's a low life thing to do, man. It really is.
But, where do these people put these items where they could be so easily stolen?
Right on top of the TV, Beeb. I mean, that's what it's going to display.
I mean, I'm locking that stuff up, right? And
I don't know. I mean, people display them. Look at Andre Ward. He said, you saw a picture of his room or whatever. It's displayed on his bookshelf or whatever, his belts and stuff.
Eric, I knocked on someone's door, right? And they had the ring, and they weren't home. They were in Florida.
Yeah.
And I'm literally having a conversation with someone through their door, through their Ring doorbell in Florida.
Right.
So these people,
awesome.
If a middle-class family can have decent security on their home, right? Where they could see who's going, who's in front of their house, no matter where they are. All they have to do is open up their app. Someone rings their bell, you can see who's in front of your house, right? These guys are multimillionaires. They don't have security. They don't have cameras. They don't. I mean,
no, he did. He did. He didn't. I don't know that he had cameras inside, but they showed the camera shot from the outside. It was clear, but the guys were masked up. It wasn't like they were just, they looked like they look. Put it this way, they looked like they knew what they were doing.
But still, it still shouldn't be that easy to just break into someone's house like that.
No, I mean, but I tell you what, those Ring cameras, we got one here, man. They're awesome.
They're incredible.
I mean, they're like crystal clear. I mean, they'll definitely hold up.
Yeah.
Some of those old cameras wouldn't hold up for testimony and stuff like that. These definitely hold up. So.
Yeah, clear picture and everything, right?
Yeah. You're not getting a blur with here. All right, so let's go back to the phones here. Let's see here. 818. I think this is LA, maybe. I don't know.
California. This is California number, I think.
California. 818. You're live. Then again, maybe you're not. Going once, twice, you're done. All right, 267. 267, you're live.
Philly.
What's up, guys?
What's up? Who are we talking to?
Philly Drew.
Philly Drew.
Philly. Yeah, Philly Drew. What's up, guys?
What's up, man?
Nothing much. I didn't know we had Wade Charles and Stevie Wonder as two judges last night.
No doubt, man. No doubt. It was awful.
Like, seriously, how the hell do you have 117, 111 for Charlo and 114 to 113 when you gave him a 10-8 round? Like, that's what PBC does to you. When an outsider goes in there, fights on the top guys, he has to knock him out to win the fight, because he's not going to get a decision. And if he looks like he's about to win, they make the fight a draw. That's what they mostly do now in PBC to protect their investments. And I'm sorry that I say this, but it's really almost 80% true.
Yeah.
The thing is, he didn't even, if you look at the fight, Charlo's side didn't even make adjustments on how to fight, because it kept on going to the ropes. Well, he was able to get to Charlo the whole time, get inside, and be able to rail on him, where you should have just went in the middle of the ring, where you have an advantage as a taller fighter and be able to keep him at bay. But Charlo kept going to the ropes, going around, going in a circle around the ropes the whole time during the fight. I just don't understand how you don't make adjustments and then you say you win the fight, where the dude clearly almost threw 100 more power, almost landed 100 more power punches than you. And I don't know how the hell you get a draw or lose a fight when you outland the dude with power punches by 100 punches. There's no way.
They'll find a way. They always seem to.
Threw more, landed more. And Charlo, I think they landed similar. Castano landed more punches, but Charlo was fairly close in the punches landed, but 50 of them were jabs. All Castano's were power shots, they said.
Yeah, he only landed 9 jabs that whole fight, Castano. But he threw 50-some jabs, but he landed only 9 of them. He outlanded him almost 100 punches in power punch category. I don't understand how you could give a guy a draw when he's getting clearly outlanded by the bigger punches. Texas, they usually go for the aggressor. They usually go for guys that land them harder shots and everything. Charlo, most of the fight, he was just one jab. That was it most of the time. Unless he somewhat gets away from the ropes to be able to throw combinations and everything. But other than that, when he was up against the ropes, it's just a tap jab. That was it, just to keep him at bay. And it didn't even work half the time.
I agree. And like I said, man, and one of the callers pointed out earlier, Charlo made absolutely zero adjustments in that fight. He made zero adjustments. He kept waiting for that big. That's the problem. When you hit somebody early like that, he clipped him and he caught him with his power, and he thought he was going to find him again and again and again, and he just didn't. So,
yeah, but I'll be honest with you guys. I don't think this rematch is going to happen because there's a really good chance Tim Tszyu could beat Castano.
Yeah, that rematch isn't going to happen. That rematch isn't going to happen. And Tim Tszyu, you think Tim Tszyu beats Castano?
I really think it's a possibility he beats Castano.
I think so too.
Like I'm really high on Tim Tszyu when it comes to 154 and the landscape of it. Like, I really think the best fighter right now in that division is Castano right now.
Yeah, I mean, you might have it there. I mean, you might have something there. I don't know, man. I think Tim Tszyu looked really good, and he's looked really good, and he does what he's supposed to do every time out. So I don't know. I want to see that fight more than I want to see a Charlo rematch. Put it that way.
Yeah, I'll tell you the truth. I think we're going to get the same type of fight in the rematch because I can't see Charlo actually changing what he's doing. And if he's going to try to change what he's doing, he's taking more of a risk to get knocked out.
There you go. All right, Philly, we're going to get running, man. Thank you so much for calling. We appreciate it. I think this is Hamed, if I'm not mistaken. 1111, you're live.
Yeah, hello, Eric.
Hey, what's going on, man?
Beef. How's it going? It's been a long time.
Good.
What you been up to, Hamid?
Yeah, I thought that was a robbery, and I don't know. I think I've lost interest in boxing now. Too.
Oh, don't go. Come on.
I don't know, where do we draw
Come on. It was only one fight. Come on. Don't throw it away like this. That's like, what are you going to do? You have one fight with your girlfriend, you're ready to get rid of her? Are you that type of person too?
That's what I normally do.
I don't do that anymore. I used to do that.
The thing is,
I don't do that anymore.
The thing was, it's a really big fight. It's a really big fight, but I thought Castano won 8. I thought he could go as far as 9 rounds in that.
Whoa, 9 rounds.
I thought all those 3 scorecards were back. 8, all right, I was settled for 8-4, but I think Tim made a good point. I think it was on Twitter. And I had about the same scorecard. After 9 rounds, I don't know how Steve Farhood gave the 9th to Castano. Outside round 2, was there another round that Charlo really won? I don't think he did. And when people say Charlo swept the last 2 rounds, I'm not sure. I thought Castano won the 12th and the 11th was the toss-up, a swing round. So I find it hard to see how anyone could give Charlo more than 4 rounds. If you want to be generous to give me 5, I think that's the maximum. I don't think the draw was a fair result, if I'm being honest. It was in Texas. It's just the bad thing is we keep seeing this, because I remember, I'll go back to Sergio Martinez and Paul Williams. There's one judge, which was a close fight. Both guys knocked each other down. One judge scored that for Williams, I think it was 119, 109 or something. And then a couple of years ago, Korobov and Charlo, that was a fight I thought could have went either way or been a draw. And again, one judge gave the other Charlo 11 rounds. I just don't know what these guys are watching. I personally think they're being paid off. I think there must be something involved, because we see this just not on PBC. We see this on Matchroom cards. We've seen it on Golden Boy cards. Adelaide Bird with that 180, 110. I think these judges are being brought in to do the job for the house fighter, and I can't see how anyone could give Charlo even 7 rounds, but to go to 9 rounds, I think that's criminal. I don't know what you guys think about that scorecard.
It was terrible. I tweeted out last night. I said, we know which judge got paid. You know, it was terrible. Terrible card. All right, Hamed, we're going to get running, man. Thank you so much. We appreciate your call. Just so you guys know also, too, so we obviously you guys are all here, so you know we started at 6. This is going to be our time from here on out. We're going to start at 6 p.m. Eastern time. So 5 p.m. In the mid, I guess 5 p.m. in the Chicago area or whatever. I guess they're an hour behind. Because somebody, I guess Tony Yayo said, whoa, I thought it was for the, what is it? The mid time? What is it called? Mountain time or Central time?
Mountain time, Central
Mountain
time.
time's out in California, I think.
Central time is, yeah.
I don't know. Whatever. Hey, listen, we're going to be on at 6 p.m. Eastern. That's it. That's the best I could do. You figure out, you make the adjustments on your own.
Adjust accordingly, okay? We're not meteorologists.
Yeah, there you go. Right, we're not meteorologists. What's the matter with you?
You got to throw that in there. You got to throw it in there.
So yeah, man. So we're gonna be here at 6 o'clock. It's just better. It seems better for everybody. And then that's gonna be it, man. I think that's gonna do it for this edition of Ringside Reporter. As always, you can catch Joe Habib on Twitter at jhabib1. Find our YouTube channel at ringsidereporterlive.com, and you can find me on Twitter at ringside73. All right, guys, take care, and we will see you next week.
And make sure that you check out the Boxing Voice at 7.
Yes, and that's part of the reason. Like I said, we're working with the Boxing Voice now, and check them out at 7 o'clock. So as soon as you're done here, just go over there and tune in. So
and I may head over there. I may head over there for an hour. We'll see what happens. My services are always needed.
Trust me, your services are no longer required. Okay, about that.
Okay.
All right, guys.